Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me directly. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com for pricing. Today, we're discussing the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Dual Time 39mm in stainless steel. This watch is 10.3mm thick. It is 49.4mm from lug tip to lug tip. If we include these little outer plots, these intermediate links, then the total distance across the wrist is 52.5mm. This watch, which features an F serial number, was sold in 2008, so keep that in mind. The watch is easy to wear on my 16cm circumference wrist. What's important to mention is that every Royal Oak wears a little bit bigger than its rated size. Though this is a 39, it's best to think of it as a 41mm round watch. It easily slides underneath the cuff, as you can see right there. And I believe you could wear this watch on a wrist as small as 14cm circumference. Taking a quick look at the hardware, you can see the bracelet is beautifully made. We'll start with the clasp. It's an older style, double logo, double fold. You can see twin trigger release. It's satinated, polished, and media blasted internally. Close, you can see it's a sequential close, one side before the other. Removable links here are fixed by screws, and you can remove them to finely size the bracelet. The watch includes a beautiful integration of bracelet and case. Gerald Genta designed the first Royal Oak in 1972 as a bracelet that just happened to tell time. The timepiece was secondary. He considered himself to be a jewelry designer first and foremost, and that is where this design came from. The rounded octagonal bezel designed to evoke a vintage diving helmet, and the bracelet a showcase of Audemars Piguet's virtuosity in finishing metal. It takes between 9 and 11 hours to hand finish these steel bracelets, and you can see how much detail is apportioned, a ton. You could see satin finish vertical on the flanks of the links. You could see longitudinal finish across the tops of the links. You could see that the little flaring bevel on the lug hoods continues unbroken over the shoulders of the links. We have little polished intermediate links. You can see that their polished facets are mostly hidden inside the bracelet. You can only really see them when you roll the bracelet through the light. Superb attention to detail. There's a wonderfully gradual taper to the bracelet, and you can see it terminates in the clasp. The case is fully integrated, and the case and the bezel are finished to the same standard as the bracelet. You can see the case features lines that continue from the bezel through the mid case and into the case back. We have satin that runs longitudinally on the flank. We have a longitudinal satin finish on the lug hoods. We have a screw-down hexagonal crown. The watch is surface swimmable with a 50-meter water resistance rating and the screw-down crown. But the hex crown is echoed in the hexagonal bolts that sit inside the bezel, and they are bolts. They're also made of white gold, which is why they have a bit of a warmer tone than the silver white of the steel bezel. We have satin on the flank of the bezel. The rounded portion is polished, and then we have a vertical curtain of satin finish across the top. The dial is the Grande Tapisserie, the large hobnail. And it's not the petite, it is the grand, because it features larger hobnails. But unlike the Mega on the offshore, this dial is still cut the traditional way on a 19th century style pantograph lathe. And back when this watch was sold in 2008, that would have been done at Stern Frère, which is a company that is distantly related to those Sterns of Patek Philippe. After 2012, the cutting was done in-house by AP, but the artisanal technique has always been the same. Now, the dial is galvanized silver white. It features a number of complications. You can see we have a power reserve indicator over at 10 o'clock. The watch has a 38-hour automatic winding power reserve. We have a second time zone down at 6 o'clock with a little AM/PM indicator. So you know, for example, whether you're looking at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m., you can see clearly the transition from night into day. So we're looking at 6 a.m. We have a pointer style date, and then we have a feature where you can set the local separately from the remote time zone. Here I'm setting the remote time zone independently while the local is not affected. The watch does feature stop seconds and a stop movement function, even though it doesn't have a seconds hand. So if you pull the crown out all the way, it will stop the movement. It will stop keeping time. The hands, the AP logo, and the indices are all white gold, so they won't tarnish or oxidize over time. And the watch is quite well loomed, so it is a sports watch. Inside, we have a JLC 8 $899, doing business as Audemars Piguet 2329 with a 2846 complication module. So inside we have a JLC automatic based on the 899. It's a bidirectional automatic, or I should say it's a unidirectional automatic winder, unlike the 889, which was a bidirectional winder. This one is a unidirectional winder for greater efficiency. And again, unlike the 889, which had lubricated steel bearings on its rotor, this one uses unlubricated ceramic bearings. Another upgrade over the old 889 is a free-sprung balance for more precise 5-position adjustment and shock tolerance. It is a 38-hour power reserve, again, unidirectionally winding. Why unidirectional? Because it's more efficient than bidirectional. It has the dual time capability. It beats away at 8 beats per second, and it pivots on 33 joules. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.